Come with me to your neighborhood. And outside one of those houses, there's a boy, no older than 10 or 12 years old, and he's excited because he's playing with this new skateboard. And as he begins to master the tricks and get comfortable, he thinks to himself, I'm going to ride my skateboard down the street and around the corner. But as he does this, as he rides it down the street and around the corner, he's apprehended by two men who've been watching him this whole time. As he begs them to let him go, their hearts are drenched with the grief that this young boy's life will bring to them. From this moment on, his life is a living nightmare as he is continually assaulted, abused, and raped for money. This young boy represents 2% of men and boys who are caught in sex trafficking. I can barely talk about this subject without my heart becoming so angry as I think of the atrocities that men, women, and children around the world have to endure every day. Yet at the same time, I'm filled with a resolve and a hope that something can be done about it and that it's in our hands to do it, and it doesn't have to be hard. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to be showing you how big this problem is globally. I'm going to show you some incredible organizations that are working hard to reverse these crimes. And lastly, I'm going to be showing how you will be a part of freeing those caught in sex slavery. Let's begin with some facts. There are 4.5 million people are modern-day sex slaves today. That's more than at any other point in history. Out of that 4.5 million, 98% are men, are women and children. Women and children. What's even more grievous is just how huge the amount of children make up this number. Watch this. By the time I finish this speech, 14 more children will be sexually exploited. Someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's brother or sister, somebody that you might know. And you see, this has become such a problem globally that the United Nations was compelled to thoroughly define sex and human trafficking as follows. It is the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipts of persons by means of threat or use of force, or other forms of coercion, of abduction, of fraud, of deception, of the abuse of power, of the position of vulnerability, or the giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the consent of a person having control over another person for the purpose of exploitation. Exploitation is at the heart of human trafficking. And when it comes to sex exploitation, it's the exploitation of vulnerable people who cannot protect themselves. You might be asking yourself, where is this happening? I can see Thailand, Cambodia, Moldova, where there's no organized governments able to protect their people from these crimes. But the truth is, it's happening in almost every country on earth. So a better question to be asking yourself is, where is sex trafficking not occurring? And the answer is nowhere. Right here in the United States alone, there's 100 and 300,000 children at risk of being trafficked. The average age of these boys and girls are 12 to 14 years. And as bad as this is here in the US, there's a country over in Eastern Europe called Moldova where 10% of their population is trafficked. That means that all of us in this room, we're growing up in Moldova, about 10 of us would be trafficked in our lifetime. The other reasons why it gains so much momentum is it's a very lucrative business, earning $32 billion a year, 15.5 in industrialized countries. So Russia, America, Canada, we're all contributing to this and we're all creating a need for it. And the reason why is because there are 456 million people earning less than $1.25 a day. That means they're in situations of extreme vulnerability, where they're not making enough to survive, and they're forced to sell their sons or their daughters into sex slavery. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being so poor and having to sell your own daughter? This is what these people face. As overwhelming and as daunting as the statistics may be, there are hundreds of organizations that are working hard to reverse this. I'm going to introduce you to three that I'm familiar with. The first one is Destiny Rescue, and they're based out of Australia, but they have chapters here in the US. And they do an incredible job of rescuing the girls, the young girls. They rescue them from these brothels, and then they teach them a trade. And one of those trades is jewelry making. And the jewelry that I'm wearing right now, one of those girls made. And by me purchasing it, it helps ensure their freedom. And so what you can do, if you like jewelry, you can purchase some of this. Or if you know some people who actually like wearing jewelry, you can throw a jewelry party, and then all those funds can go directly to saving those girls and keeping them out of this business. Another thing that you can do, another organization is Exodus Cry, and they've done an incredible job of bringing awareness. They've taken something that's in the dark and brought it to the light through social media. They produced a film called Nefarious that's won 27 awards, but more importantly has educated thousands on just how huge this subject is. And what you can do on your Facebook, just post a preview of this movie. That's not hard to do. Or for $4.99, you can purchase it and own it and educate your family and your friends about it. The last organization I'm going to show you is International Justice Missions. This is groups of investigators and lawyers who are working in those countries with the governments and police agencies, and they are not only just rescuing girls, but they are taking the perpetrators and they're bringing them to justice. And these guys are worthy of a donation. And you can donate to them at www.ijam.org. When I had surveyed the class, 100% had said they had never done anything, any type of volunteer work to help any of these kind of organizations. But guys, let's change that. We can make a difference. You can volunteer by hosting a jewelry party, or you can strengthen awareness by posting that Nefarious movie on your Facebook. Or lastly, you can give up that maybe $5, $5 Starbucks drink or Monster drink, and at the end of the month, you can have a little donation to give you those incredible professional lawyers. I've shown you guys briefly how big the situation is globally. I've shown you 3 organizations that are helping. And now I've put in front of you steps that you can take to make a difference. And I leave you with this quote, and then the rest is up